Welcome to the Conveyance Desk. This is episode 28. A property transfer runs on a set of clocks and on a set of promises. The clocks are the deadlines. The contract has a completion window. The developer's no objection certificate has a short shelf life. The promises are the things agreed during negotiation that have to actually be delivered before you complete. Managing both in the buyer's favor is most of what good conveyancing is. This episode is about why who manages them matters. 1. The clocks. 2 deadlines shape almost every transfer. The Form F, the contract between buyer and seller, sets the window in which the deal is meant to complete. And the developer's NOC, once issued, is typically valid for only around 15 days. Miss that window, and it has to be reissued, and the deal stalls. Timing is not a detail. It is the spine of the whole process. Someone has to be watching every clock at once and pushing the right party at the right moment. 2. Timing in the buyer's favor, not the deal's. Here is where independence shows up most clearly, and it is a subtle point worth slowing down for. A broker who wants the deal closed will lean on the buyer to get funds ready ahead of where the contract actually requires it. It feels like diligence. It is really just de-risking the close for the agency, and it can push a buyer to commit money sooner than their own contract obliges them to. An independent conveyancer won't do that. They hold the buyer's timeline to what the buyer is genuinely obligated to under the Form F. No earlier. Rushing you to part with money before you have to is not protecting you. It is protecting the deal. But the same conveyancer will push the seller hard where the seller needs pushing to move quickly on the NOC, because that 15-day clock is unforgiving. Pressure applied where it actually belongs. That is the tell. Independent timing protects the buyer from being hurried and holds the seller to the deadlines. Deal side timing does the reverse, relaxed with the seller, hurried with the buyer. 3. The promises. Most deals are agreed with conditions attached to the price. The buyer points out things during viewing, fixes, snags, items that need putting right, and the seller consents to handle them as part of what makes the price fair. Or there are charges to be cleared, accounts to be settled before completion. Those are promises. The price was agreed on the understanding they would be kept. And promises are exactly the thing that quietly slides when nobody independent is holding them. 4. Why a brokerage struggles to hold the seller. Picture a common situation. The seller agreed to put a few things right, but the seller is busy. Perhaps they run a business. Perhaps the repair is simply never convenient, and it just doesn't get done. Now look at the agency's position. That seller may own another 40 units in the same district. The agency wants every one of those future listings. So when the seller drags their feet, the brokerage is not a neutral enforcer. It has a powerful reason to make the buyer's expectation the flexible thing, to find the excuse, smooth it over, suggest the buyer not to make a fuss. Protecting the relationship with a 40-unit seller is worth more to them than holding that seller to one buyer's repair list. This is not dishonesty. It is two masters. The agency serves this deal and the next 40 units from the same person. And when those pull apart, the single buyer is the one who gives. 6. The buyer's simple instruction. When something is agreed as a condition of your price, do not assume it will happen because everyone nodded. Ask one question. Who is going to make sure this is actually done before I complete? And do they have any reason to go easy on the seller? If the answer is a party that wants the seller's next 40 listings, you have your answer. If it is someone who works only for you, the promise has someone to keep it. The Conveyance Desk is an independent private service. It is not a government body and does not issue official documents. Nothing in this episode is legal advice. It is general information about how property transfers in Dubai are structured to help a buyer understand the process and ask better questions. For advice on your specific matter, speak to a qualified professional. Next time, the title check that happens on every deal, and the only thing about it that actually varies whether anyone explains it to you. Episode 29. What was actually checked? This has been the Conveyance Desk. Independent oversight on your side of the table.